35, Mataji?
Yeah, 35 is to do.
35.
35. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Krodha Naradaya Sau. Putra Shoka Vimurchita. Devarshim Upalabhyaha. Roshad Visphuritadhara.
May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Go ahead, Prabhuji, go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. When he heard that the Savalasas has also left this world to engage in devotional service, Daksha was angry at Narada and he almost fainted due to lamentation. When Daksha met Narada, Daksha's lips began trembling with anger and he spoke as follows. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comment that Narad Muni had delivered the entire family of Swayambhava Manu, beginning with Priyavrata and Uttanapad. He had delivered Uttanapada's son Dhruva, and had even delivered Prachinabari, who was engaged in fruitive activity. Nevertheless, he could not deliver Prajapati Daksha. Prajapati Daksha saw Narada before him because Narada had personally come to deliver him. Narada Muni took the opportunity to approach Prajapati Daksha in his bereavement, because the time of bereavement is a suitable time of appreciating Bhakti Yoga. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 17.16, four kind of men: Artha, one who is distressed; Artharthi, one who is in need of money; Jigyasu, one is inquisitive; and Jnani, a person in knowledge. Try to understand devotional service. Prajapati Daksha was in great distress because of loss of his sons. And therefore Narada took opportunity to instruct him regarding liberation from material bondage. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. A very interesting point here. So, previously Dhruv Maharaj and Prachina Barhi were in the same mentality. Prachina Barishat actually was just, just doing karma kand, but Dhruv Maharaj was also suffering from intense bereavement. And another incident that we are going to see would be that of Maharaj Chitraketu, where Narad Muni's friend Angira Muni would be doing the same thing, Angira Rishi. So now considering, now when he realizes that 11,000 sons have now taken renunciation and gone away, this king Prajapati Daksh becomes very depressed, Vimurchita. He's like almost fainting. He's almost dying of this kind of pain that he's experiencing for the loss of his sons. Considering the situation to be ripe, Narad Muni approaches him. So actually, you see, Krishna is saying, this verse which is quoted here, Arto Artharthi Jigyasu Gyani Cha Bharat Arshava. So so these four pious souls surrender to Krishna. Now Prajapati Daksha is certainly pious. He has pleased the Lord. So considering the situation, Narad Muni approached him. But we can see how material energy actually works on living entities. Actually, material energy is what it is. The living entity becomes attached to it. So therefore, we see now that Prajapati Daksh is going to react in a very uncalled for or in a very untoward manner. So you see, this is the position of great souls. Once when Srila Prabhupada was in India, there was a big drought, big famine in Andhra Pradesh area. At that time, the governor approached Prabhupada and he said, please, you are coming from America, you have so much money, you should give some donation, some charity. So Prabhupada refused. He said, no, if you want me to do Sankirtan, I can do that for you. This giving of some donation is not going to help. this kind of famine is coming because of sinful reaction. These people are sinful, and therefore this kind of famine has come. Unless they purify themselves, there is no use of doing any charity, because the reaction will be as it is. Their suffering will not go away. So you see, understanding the situation to be dire, Narad Muni approached Prajapati Daksh. And being a pious soul, he should have understood why Narad Muni is approaching him. But as we see, he's going to behave in a very contrary manner. Hare Krishna. Is any questions or comments?
Prabhuji, here is the
Continue
thing.
then.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji. It is nothing but Bhakti Yoga, teaching of Bhakti Yoga is most necessary when somebody is in bereavement.
Hmm.
It is practical because that person in different mood, depressed, maybe in anger, as
Hmm.
the gentleman was in anger and all that. Talking of Bhakti at that time, somebody may take otherwise rather.
Hmm. Pious soul is expected to behave. A pious soul will take instructions. Well, that's why we recite Bhagavad Gita at the time of death. So a person should be pious and intelligent. One should consider the situation. So yes, that is the best time actually. When Chitraketu Maharaj is also lamenting. See, at that time a person is seeking relief. So what best relief can be other than the message of Krishna? There will be no other relief actually.
It looks if the Daksha was neither pious nor bhakt at all. So,
See, he was not a devotee, but he was pious. That's why he could please the Lord.
okay.
I mean, there are enough people who are interested in sex life in this world, but not everyone can invite the Lord to bless him.
Right. Thank you.
Krishna. Thank you. Yes, Mataji, you have a question also?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat. Prabhuji, when we try to help someone, are we interfering in their karmas?
Yes, very much. Actually, that's why the devotee is also interfering. When we are preaching to someone, we are interfering. So that's why we have to take their karma. So
Then
yes, we do
we
take
should not
part.
help anybody.
No, we shouldn't actually. What is the use? Suppose someone is let's have this. Like suppose there is a doctor and someone is suffering from cancer. The doctor goes and treats him. Now, where is this cancer coming from? It is past impious karma. So doctor is also partaking in that karma. So all of this, you see, in material world, the sufferings are coming because of past misdeeds. So, for example, now let me just give you like one simple example. Suppose you see policemen, tying up a man and carrying him in their van. Now you go and you beat up the policeman and you take free that man. What will be your position? You'll also be considered a criminal. You'll be considered an accessory to crime. Or if you go to a jail and you see hundreds of men just tied up in jail, so you break the jail and you say, okay, let's set them all free. So, you'll be assisting a criminal.
But
then sometimes on humanity grounds, if you help someone, so then even that should not be done.
No. See, the position of a prisoner in jail is pitiable, horrible. He's eating some filthy food, he's living in dirty conditions, he has no freedom. Now, if you take pity on him and you liberate him somehow, you break the wall and you liberate him, what will be your legal position? So the misery which is coming in this world, like we see orphans, we see widows, we see sick people, blind people, all this is a reaction of past karma.
Yeah, true.
So yes, but that doesn't mean that we should become hard-hearted. So yes, we can give them relief, but we should understand that the only relief is actually Krishna consciousness. Their sinful action is the real problem, not the symptom of it.
But then someone is, if
Apparent,
he's in some such a means situation, it's difficult to directly go and give them Krishna consciousness. No? Somewhere we'll have to first help and.
So you should be willing to take their karma then.
Mhm.
So if someone is blind, you can treat their eyes and you can expect to go blind in your next life.
Luckily, she's a dental doctor. She won't do it. It's for us, Archana Mataji. Archana Mataji.
See, this is just the law of karma, you know. That's why, see, Keshavan Prabhu was, one of his conversations, he himself was saying why he left medical field. Because that's a, that's a interference in others' karma.
Hmm.
So one
So
should
then
be
in
very, very
daily
careful.
basis also in many dealings we must be interfering, no, that way, Prabhuji, in others'
Yes.
karma.
So we should minimize these interactions.
Hmm.
We should minimize our interactions with the society. Because
Hmm.
when we are trying to help someone, we are actually taking their karma.
Hmm. Hmm. Very difficult.
Yeah. It is. So see, that's why I said, Shurasya dhara nishta duratya durgam pathas satkavayo vajanti. It is as difficult as a razor's edge. There is dharma sankat in every position. Remember the story of Maharaj Nriga,
Yeah.
the one who became a lizard and he was delivered by Krishna,
Yeah, right.
the Krishna book. Now, he was not even trying to do anything harmful. They were
Hmm.
pious people. Everyone was pious. He was a
Hmm.
Rajarshi, there were Brahmanas, and he was donating cows.
Hmm.
And in doing an act of charity, he had to become a lizard. So you see, material world is a padam padam yati vibdam, very dangerous place.
Hmm.
See,
So we
Krishna is
shouldn't even
saying
console anyone with our words also, Prabhuji.
we can do that. See, now we should not become like impersonalists that, okay, whatever, I'm just going to save myself.
Right.
But at the same time, we should not go out of the way. Now, if some situation is presenting itself, then we should help.
Hmm.
Now, suppose you are walking on the street and you see a child falling down from his bicycle and hurting himself. Then you can't say let him suffer his karma. Then you should help.
Yeah, yeah.
But you should not organize a mission to save all children who are falling from their bicycles.
Right.
Getting the point?
Hmm. Yes, Prabhuji.
That's why saintly souls have avoided. That's why saintly souls like Madhavendra Puri was completely self-realized. But he did not want to be in the society.
Hmm. Okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Even Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj and Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, these all people used to avoid high society interactions. Even general also who come for benedictions, they used to avoid.
Yeah, so one should avoid all such situations. Material world is a dangerous place. We don't know where danger is lurking.
So the interaction then should be only for the sake of preaching. Other than that, we should try as much as possible to withdraw things.
Yeah. So bare minimum interaction. Bare minimum.
Even in the profession, because we are now caught up, because we have taken responsibilities, or we had some desire, so we have expanded a little bit. So now we have these responsibilities. So just to take care of these responsibilities, we are interacting with the society. One thing, and another thing is, uh, if you are giving specific time and hearing to people, it should be only priority. It should be not solving the problem, but hoping that they will take up Krishna conscious. So it is actually we are trying to please them, and in the process they have some problems. We are trying to help them out. Elsewise, we are not out here to help the problems of the society.
Yeah. See, that's what, yeah, because so what is society? It's an interaction of various varieties of karma. When we are trying to mitigate the situation, we are trying to solve the symptoms without addressing the root of the problem. Yeah. Okay, please continue with the next verse. I'll join you in a minute. Please continue reading with the next verse.
Okay. Will you speak? Read it? I'll read the text.
Yes, Prabhu, please read.
Sridakshuvachya, Aho
Sri Daksha
Asadhu,
Uvacha,
Aho Asadhu, Sudhanam,
Aho
Oh,
Asadu
so Sadhunam
Sadhu, Linganena, Yat,
Sadhu Rena
Vaya
Astra, Akre, Arbhatam,
Aswad Akre
Sorry
Arbatan
Saranam
Bhikshur, Margyaha, Pradas, Ita.
Darshita.
Bhikshur
Marga
Marga
Pradarshita.
Pradastita.
Translation proposed by Sri Prabhupada. Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Vijayapati Daksha said, Alas, Narad Muni, you wear the dress of a saintly person, but you are not actually a saint. Indeed, although I am now a Grasta life, I am a saintly person. By showing my sons the path of unification, you have done me abnormal injustice. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sanyasara Alpaha Sarvaloke Jai. Chaitanya Madhya Prila 12.51. In society, one will find many sannyasis, Panasprata, Grastas, and Brahmachari. But if all of them properly live in accordance with their duties, they are understood to be sadhus. Prajapati Daksha was certainly a sadhu because he had executed with great austerity the Supreme Personality of God, Vishnu, had appeared before him. Nevertheless, he had a fault-finding mentality. He improperly taught Narad Muni to be a sadhu or non-saintly because Narad had spoiled his intention. Desiring to train his sons to become Grasta, fully fused with knowledge, Daksha had sent them to execute austerities in Narayan area. Narad Muni, however, taking advantage of their highly elevated position in austerity, instructed them to become Vaishnava in the renounced order. This is the duty of Narad Muni and his followers. They must show everyone the path of renunciation in material world and returning home back to Godhead. Prajapati Daksha, however, could not see the exalted of the duties Narad Muni's behavior. Daksha accused Narad of being a sadhu. The word Bhakti Marga, the path of initiation order, are very significant in this regard. The sannyasi is called Tirandi Bhikshu because his duty is to beg alms from the homes of Grastas and to give the Grastas spiritual instructions. A sannyasi is allowed to beg from door to door, but Grasta cannot do so. Grasta may earn their living according to the four divisions of the spiritual life. A Brahmana Grasta may earn his livelihood by learning, a learned scholar, and teaching people in general how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He may also assume the duty of worship himself. Therefore, it is said that only Brahmins may engage in deity worship, and they may accept a prasada, whatever people offer to the deity. Although a Brahmana may sometimes accept charity, it is not for the personal maintenance, but for the worship of deity. Thus, a Brahmana does not of anything. Just as much. For this is future use. Similarly, Satya may collect taxes from the citizens and they must also protect the citizens, enforce rules and regulations, and maintain law and order. Vaishyas should earn their livelihood through agriculture and cow protection, and Sudras should maintain their livelihood by serving their three higher classes. Unless one becomes a Brahmin, one cannot take sannyas. Sannyasis and brahmacharis may bear arms door to door, but a grasta cannot. Prajapati Daksha condemned Narad Muni because Narad, a brahmachari who could beg from door to door, had made sannyasis of Dakshasan, who have been trained to be grasta. Daksha saw extremely angry and Narad began to thought that Narad had done him a great injustice. According to Daksha's opinion, Narad Muni had misled Daksha's inexperienced sons, Asadhe Akre Bhaktam. Daksha regarded his son as innocent boys who had been misled when Narad told them the announced order of life. Because of all these considerations, Prajapati Daksha charged that Narad Muni was a sadhu and should not have adopted the dress of a sadhu. Sometimes a saintly person is misunderstood by grastas, especially when he instructs their young sons to accept Krishna consciousness. Generally, grastas think that unless one enters grasta life, he cannot properly enter the renounced order. If a young man immediately adopts the path of the renounced order in accordance with the instructions to Narada, or member of the disciplic succession, his parents become very angry. The same phenomenon is occurring in our Krishna conscious movement because we are instructing all the young boys in the Western countries to follow the path of renunciation. We also allow Grasta life, but the Grasta also follows the path of renunciation. Even Grasta has to give up as many had bad habits that his parents think his life has been perfect, practically destroyed. We allow no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, and no intoxication. And consequently, parents wonder how, if there are too many numbers, one's life can be, so many no's, one's life can be positive. In the Western countries, especially these four prohibited activities practically constitute the life and soul of modern population. Therefore, parents sometimes dislike our movement, just as Prajapati Daksha disliked the activity of Narad and accused Narad of dishonesty. Nevertheless, although parents may be angry at us, we must perform our duty without agitation because we are in the disciplic succession from Narad Muni. People addicted to householders' life wonder how one can give up the enjoyment of just a life, which is a concession or sex enjoyment, simply to become mended in Krishna consciousness. They do not know that the householder concession for sex life cannot be regulated unless one accepts the life of Vedic. A Vedic civilization, therefore, enjoins that at the end of the one's 50th but 50th year, one must give up household life. This is compulsory. However, because modern civilization is misled, householders want to remain in family life until death, and therefore they are suffering. In such cases, the discipline of Narad Muni advised all the members of the younger generation to join the Krishna consciousness movement immediately. There is nothing wrong in this. Hare Krishna Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. So this is quite a big purport, and there's a lot to discuss here. Maybe we can just, now the time is up. We'll discuss this purport tomorrow. Is that fine? I'm a little too tired also today. So please read this again. This is actually very straightforward. There are actually, Srila Prabhupada is explaining the whole perspective of Varnashram Dharma, and he's also explaining the importance of renunciation. So, see, it's like this. The whole purpose of Varnashram is to advance in human life and go back to Godhead. These four Varnas are, the four ashramas are meant to help one advance in spiritual life. Brahmacharya, when one has no knowledge of sex life, one enters into Brahmachari ashram, learns the science of Krishna consciousness. Then, if one still has some inclination for sex, then one enters a Grihastha ashram. Living in Grihastha ashram, he realizes the vagaries of material life, and when he becomes mature enough, when his senses are satisfied, he takes Vanaprastha. In Vanaprastha, he calms down his senses, associates with sadhus, till such time as he becomes completely renounced, and then he takes sannyas. So in the stage of sannyas, he completely gives up his attachment to the body, meditating only on the Supreme Lord. That is the purpose of Varnashram. That one eventually becomes completely detached from bodily concept of life and completely dedicated to the service of the lotus feet of the Lord. So while they may be scientifically aligned, it is not necessary to enter Grihastha ashram. If one can enter sannyas directly from brahmachari, why not? It is not necessary to be a grihastha. So therefore,
Hare Krishna.
so Hare Krishna, sorry. So from brahmachari to sannyas, for example, if a child is exceptionally intelligent, why should he go through first, second, third, fourth standard? If he gets promoted from first standard to third standard or first to fourth standard, why not? So that is the process. So if a boy is renounced enough in brahmachari ashram itself, he can directly enter sannyas. In fact, that's a great advancement. But here, due to his immaturity, Daksha is considering this to be an unscientific method. So actually, this shows the ignorance of Prajapati, that he doesn't understand that Narad Muni has actually benefited his sons and him also. Because if the son takes sannyas, all the family is delivered. It is actually Prajapati Daksha's own benefit that his sons have become pure sannyasis, pure devotee sannyasis, disciples of a great soul like Narad Muni. But out of his foolishness, he is condemning Narad Muni. So you see, Grihastha doesn't mean enjoyment. Grihastha life doesn't mean that I am enjoying sex life, my children should also enjoy sex life. No, that is Kanishtha thinking. That's the thinking of a low class Shudra. So especially those parents who are in the movement, who are in ISKCON, at least they should seriously consider making their sons brahmacharis or sannyasis. I mean, otherwise one has not understood anything about our philosophy. If one's child becomes a pure devotee, then he is himself delivered. His mission is successful. So Grihastha should think like this, that I am already so fallen, entangled in sex life. If at least my child could become a pure devotee. If one thinks like this, then one's accomplished in Grihastha ashram. Otherwise, one is just a waste. One is just wasting his time. One is just a Kanishtha. So you see, so here Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing the same point. Grahastha means one who is, it's a Grahastha ashram, one who is situated at home and practicing Krishna consciousness. One who is sitting at home and just enjoying home life is Grahamedhi. Grahamedhi, homely intelligence. Just engaged in sense gratification. So definitely, one should become a sannyasi if one wants to go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Yes, any questions or comments? Okay. So if not, we stop here today. Then thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Yeah. Tomorrow could be a very lively interactive session. So many points to be there.